Hello crafters, I'm JanB and I'm an independent Stampin' Up demonstrator. Today I'm going to show you how to make this popping flap card. You pull out like that and it flaps open. The original card that I saw was made by Succulent Cardstock and but her size was an unusual size. It was 4 inches by 4 3/8 inches. And I wanted it to be more like our size, so I started working out what the sizes were going to have to be, and then I realised what my mistake was, and I went back to start again. But then YouTube brought up somebody's video by the side of the recommendations they give, and that was by a German demonstrator. Her name is Ingrid something Hauper, I think. Anyway, she did this and she did all her measurements in centimetres, metric measurements. So I've converted this all to English. So my metric measurements will probably be a bit different to hers, but it will still work anyway. The only thing I don't think I'll be able to do inches for North America. This here will actually, this is our size envelope. Okay, so it fits in here even with this little bit on it. And the American size envelope is this one. And this looks as if it would just about fit in as long as you don't do that to it. I wonder how far I can get this to go in. Oh yes, it slides in, look. It's you go down, that's it. So it will go in, it is only that that's stopping it. So if you're quite happy not to have that bit, then you can follow my inches, because I won't be doing separate inches on this one. Okay, so I am going to make exactly the same card, but I'm changing my colour schemes. I do find that there isn't such a great selection of birthday cards out and about during November and December. My dad's birthday was on the 13th of November and my mum's birthday was the 3rd of December, and I can remember the shops being so full of Christmas cards and not much in the way of birthday cards. So I'm always very aware that I still need to make birthday cards during the latter part of the year. So this is a nice masculine one as well. So I'm going to start off by telling you the card pieces that you're going to be needing. Right, let's start that way over. So, what I have done is, before you start cutting, I'm going to have to turn this sideways so it all fits in. Okay, so this is a sheet of A4. Okay, it is life size. So what you can do is, the first 3 pieces I'm going to give you, that one, and that one, okay, this is how you fit onto one sheet. Okay, in fact, you might want to just take a screenshot of this, print it off, and then that'll remind you how to actually do this. Okay, I think I've been talking long enough for you to have clicked on print screen. Unfortunately, I still haven't got the hang of posting a PDF to my blog, but I might see if I can photograph that so it comes across as a JPEG so I can show it on there. Anyway, enough talking. I'm going to be using soft succulent, and the first piece you need measures 5 inches by 10 and 5 inches, scored and folded at 5 inches, so you will be short on that. Okay, that's what you want. I think I'll leave those on there. And then the little card for the inside is 3 1/4 inches by 10 1/4 inches, scored and folded at 4 3/4 inches. Again, you have a little flap there. And then this is that little piece that you saw. This is not precisely 1.5 inches because our sheet is 11.59 inches, but whatever that finishes up as, the width is okay. You just need to cut it to 3 inches. And 1 or 2 1-inch circles which may or may not be needed at this stage, and those two circles can be cut out of these two, so you are able to use nearly a complete sheet of A4 cardstock. Now onto basic white. This is the one for the front of the cardstock, and it's 4 inches by 4 3/4 inches. This is for the inside of the smaller card on the left hand side, that's 4.5 inches by 3 inches. On the inside, on the right hand side, which is the one that I left blank, which apart from the stamping that I had done here, and this is 3 inches by 5 1/4 inches. Now this one, I am toying with the idea of putting a layer on here. Okay, I'm not sure whether it'll work or not, so if I do it, this piece measures 3 inches by 4 1/8 inches, and then you need one thin strip, which is this. It is just a strip there, you can't actually see it, but yes you can see that that doesn't go all the way down there. Okay, so that measures 1 1/8 inches by 3 7/8 inches. Then you need a scrap of basic white for the sentiment and possibly the images. The stamp set is called Wild Cats, and you can stamp and die cut these two. The dies are called Big Cats, okay, so those two. And if you wanted to do some greenery, there are dies for that one and that one and that. That's that. And that's an extra one, and I think that's an extra one as well. That is a lovely bundle, and the designer series paper I'm using is part of this suite, and it's called In the Wild, so I'm still going to be using that. But with my images, in fact there's only one image that I'm planning to use at the moment, I have actually die cut that from the sheet of the designer series paper. I did mean to bring over, but I forgot. I don't know. Oh yes, here we go. There we go. This sheet of design series paper, you can die cut the tiger that's finished. I keep calling this a lion. That's a lion to me. Anyway, he's facing that way. You can die cut that, and you can die cut that one. No, the one that's facing. Oh, this one. The one that's facing the other way. Okay. So the one that I'm using is a die cut. Now you will also need some designer series paper, and this one measures 3 7/8 inches by 4 5/8 inches. I have already attached these to save us a bit of time. This piece is 4 3/8 inches by 2 7/8 inches. This is the piece that's in the inside that I'm not putting paper on. This is the extra layer that I might be using, and this is 2 7/8 inches by 4 inches. I'll leave the sizes on so that I can remind you, if I do use this, I will remind you the sizes of it, otherwise you might finish up as confused as me. And the designer series paper on this one is 1 inch by 3 3/4 inches. I've also found in my stash this, which is soft succulent, which is what I'm using, and the stamp was from Blossoms in Bloom. I'm not sure if it's still a current stamp set. I can't really see very well from here, but that was in my stash, and I might use it rather than just wasting it. And actually this is the one that I'm going to use, which was on the designer series paper, but I have fussy cut it out. Right, so first of all what I'm going to do is I am going to stamp my sentiment, which I have got set up on my Stamparatus. Oops. There we go. As you can see, what I've done with this one is I just cut around the edges, but because this is a white background going onto white background, it needed something behind it. But this is going on white, but the front design of my card is going to be that, so I don't think it's going to need any kind of a layer. but we will see. So if I just put, oh, and this stamp comes from Happiest of Birthdays. Actually, this matches up with the stitched rectangle dies. Oh, I'd forgotten about that. Right, so what I'm going to use, I'll put my paper, my cardstock in there. This isn't any particular size, it was just a leftover piece. And I'm going to use soft succulent ink. And do you remember I showed you my whatever massager thing? Hubby, mine had black writing on it, and hubby's taken it all off for me. So I'm going to probably think about doing some stamping, die cutting, whatever, and pop it on there and then paint over it with Mod Podge, which is it's like laminating it, if you like. So watch this space. I think that's good. I'm not sure I'm going to be needing the ink again. So if I just move that, put that on one side, and put that on one side as well. That can go there. Right, so what we need now is to get onto the interesting bit, and that is to sort our cards out. So I'm bringing all my soft succulent bits, and I don't need those. No action needed on that, except I can see where my trimmer has cut my paper. It's got that little ridge on it, so just flatten that. And that one. Oh, I know which other piece we need to work on as well. And that's this little one here. Okay, so that's okay. And this one, I'm going to get my trimmer over. So what we need to do is, on the longer piece here, we need to cut off 3/8 of an inch that side, 3/8 of an inch that side, and on this side we need to score 3/8 of an inch, 3/8 of an inch. So I am going to put my tallest piece up to the top. There we go. And I can see that needs to be flattened out as well. There we go, that's all right. So that's my biggest piece. Did I tell you this needs to be scored and folded at, I didn't, did I? Scored and folded at 5 inches. Yes, I did, because I said when you fold it it'll be, or was that take 1? This is take 3. And this one is scored at 4 3/4. Again, you'll have the flap. This is what the only thing I don't like about doing retakes. I don't remember what I said in the first one, whether I'm repeating myself now, so bear with me. Right, so we're going to line this up at 3/8, and with the biggest bit at the top here, you need to slice down to that score line there. And as you know, I tend to fall short on mine. Oh, spot on, look at that. Move that one out of the way, and then bring the scoring blade down. Not blade, scoring tool bit. Now you can either turn this around the other way and move down to cut this, or move it over this side. I prefer just to move it over. Right, so line that up at 3/4 of an inch. Make sure it's lining up at, no, I mean 3/8 of an inch. Yes, I do mean 3/8 of an inch. 3/8 there, and make sure it lines up at 3/8 of an inch down here by my thumb. And then you know you're really beautifully straight. Now I'm going to keep it in place by holding on tight here. I'm going to cut down again. And, oh, I've got to lift that up. Never mind, we can do it. Push that one down. and then score that one. Okay, now with this one, now I should have really done this one first. What you need to do is put this one, line it up at 3/8 of an inch and score, and now score at every 1/8 of an inch. This piece is the actual mechanism that's going to make the card work. But if you didn't do this to make the cardstock bend, as it brings the card out, it would stay straight and try and come through, which wouldn't work. So just keep going at 1/8 of an inch. And I go over as far as I can with this. And then when I reach the bit that I can't go any further, which is really at the very edge there, which I can't really see, but that's okay. Then I turn it around and do 3/8 of an inch first. So you've got 3/8 of an inch scored both sides, and then start scoring at 1/8 of an inch again. Now what you might find is when you get towards the centre, you won't have a complete 1/8 there. I hope that's what's going to happen here so that I can show you what to do. And as you are coming over here, make sure that this stays pushed up against that edge. Otherwise your card won't move in a straight line. Right, I think the next one, or the next one will work. But if you've finished up in a gap that's smaller than that, then what I would do is I would just line up that straight section that needs a score line in it, and I would just put the cutting blade, the cutting track halfway through that. Okay, the thing is these 1/8 of an inch aren't vital. It's just to make sure that the piece of cardstock will roll when you do your card. Okay, so there's that. What I like to do with this is just give it a little bit of a curl. You can hear the bumps going over the ridges, and then I turn it around and do the other side as well. It just helps to break up the fibres and make the cardstock really nice and supple. Now one end you need to fold as a mountain and the other end as a valley, so that you finish up with like a very peculiar looking Z shape. Okay, let me hold it like that, that's better. Okay, so you've got one flap coming down, one flap going up. Now we go back to this piece, and with your paper snips what you need to do is cut this off, but do it as a very slight mitre there, and this one as a very slight mitre, and then give this one a very little mitre as well. Okay, so let's get rid of this. Now fold these two side pieces in, give it good burnish, one needs to be folded the other way, and that is no problem, but I do seem to have a couple of hairy bits there. No, not on that side. Cut that one off, I don't want that. Okay, so this is the way our card is going to be going. I'm going to take this one off, and that will be sitting in there. Now you may find that this comes over the edge of there. This one doesn't, but on my other card it did. So all I did was I put it into my trimmer and I just cut off a tiny little slither so that it was shorter. Okay. But what I had to do was I had to wait until it was all together, which is why I don't know yet whether it does fit or not. Right, so what we need to do with this, now I do recommend that you use Tombow with this, although it is very easy to make a bit of a mess with it. I think Tombow is stronger, and I think for this it's not necessarily this bit but the next bit, and sticking these bits down I think it's a lot easier. So first of all we are going to have this, the one that is facing upwards, okay, is going to be going on the card there in the centre of this. So we need to put some Tombow on here, and what I like to do is, if I can get a piece of blotting paper here, it's not really blotting paper, it's recycled computer paper, just in case I feel that I've got too much on here and I want to blot it off. Which, yeah, that looks too much for me, I don't like that amount, not when it's so crucial. So I'm just going to put that on there, so it spreads it out really nicely then. And that, in fact I can see the lines under here, can't I? It must be about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and one extra line. So that's half. Right, I'm going to turn it round like this, adhere this, so that that is right on the edge there. Okay. Now this is the only bit that I get confused on. Okay, this is... Let me just double check this. I'm really quite nervous, I tell you. Let me see if I can see inside there. No. That way, so it's got to be facing this. Okay. Now this has got to finish up about here somewhere, so how do we do that? Alright, okay. Yep, I'm happy. Now what we need to do this time, we need to put glue on here. And again, I'm going to blot it, just to make sure I don't get any glue, oops, oozing out. She says putting it actually on the card. Not a clever move, is it? I see a lot of people using a little sort of bottle thing that's got a metal pin, almost a pinhead to it. So, and their glue always comes out really slowly, and I think that's what I need. Right, so what I'm going to do is put that on there, make sure that it's going to be glued in and miss this edge and that edge, and that's got to come up to the top there. And then we close this down. The only thing with using Tombow for this is you do have to give it a few seconds to start doing its job. Okay, so now when you pull this, that's going to come out like that. Okay, well, that's good. I've given you the right instructions. Okay, so next we need to, let's move that up there. We need to put glue on these two pieces and to adhere those down. I did think about putting tape on there first and then putting glue over it. But this is holding together really well, so no, I'll rely just on Tombow. One of the things that Shushti does on her cards is when she's put the glue on here, she wipes it over with her finger so that it does go all like mine goes when I blotted it. And she's really got it down to a fine art. There we go, there's that side. And she's obviously well prepared for it because off camera she's got some kind of a damp towel or something to clean her hands. If you've never watched one of her videos, you may want to give it a try. There's hardly any talking, and a card like this would only take her like 5 minutes. She's amazing. Right, so now I'm going to bring this over so that I can fold. Let's see if I can do it sideways for you. Keep that one straight where it's going to go. And then fold these two bits in. Okay, just make sure that lines up. Okay, now this is a bit where if it doesn't line up here, oh my goodness, this is such a small tad. I don't think my trimmer would take that bit off. So there we go, that's our card. And you can see why I put the finger stool on there, the finger notch. What you could do, because if you're in North America and you're following these instructions, you could actually scoop that out. In fact, let me try doing it that way. So forget the 1-inch circles that I had told you, because there's going to be cardstock underneath there and it's going to be visible. Disadvantage is there's a sentiment on there. I think what I'll do is I'll put that bit in there and I'll do my stamping, and then I will see about doing a finger notch, because it only needs to be done on that bit. Yeah, I'm going to try that. I don't know whether it'll work or not, but we'll see. Right, now this one, this is a piece that's 3 7/8 by 4 5/8 on a piece of basic white, which measures 4 and 4 3/4 inches. So that's going to go on our front, like that. This design, the flowers, is one of my favourite designs. I think it's really lovely. But in my mind, this stamp set, in fact the whole suite, is ideal for masculine cards. But I'm not so sure about the flowers. But I can remember somebody saying once to me ages ago, yeah, but men like flowers too. It's not as if they're like girly flowers. So I'm going for it today. Okay, so that's that one. Oh, are you coming undone? That's because I didn't leave it enough time, isn't it? I'll have to watch that. If it comes out again, then I will put some more glue on it. So that's those. on the inside here, that's this one, inside left, so that's 4 3/8 by 2 7/8, and the white is 4 1/2 by 3. Oh, I'm getting a big blob of glue there. This is one of my favourite designs as well. Don't put it on there. Now for the long side, that's this one, which is 3 inches by 5 1/4. That needs to have a sentiment stamp there, which I have to say I did forget about that one. But that's the sentiment, have a wild birthday, which is from the Wild Cats stamp set. That one there, have a wild birthday. And soft succulent. Just get me a bit of scrap paper to test this. Yep, that's good. I like this because it's see-through right near the edge, so I should be able to get it straight. Let me just bring it down a bit closer to me. Can you see that? Yeah, you can still see that. There we go. That's good. And this piece goes on here. That's all you need to do on these silicone sheets to get the glue off. Just run your finger over it. Brilliant. Make sure we put it up the right way. Make sure it's visible when the card is closed. Yes, so let me see if I can do a finger notch to see if that will work okay. And then when I finish the card, I'll see if I can pop it into an American size card. Envelope rather, I mean. Okay, can you see, if you can see how much I'm doing there? I think that should work. Let me put the next piece on, which is DSP is 1 inch by 3 3/4 inches, and the basic white is 1 1/8 by 3 7/8. Now this, you have to put the glue on and just slide it in. If you can't really do this before you do the mechanism bit, so all you need to do is, once you've got your glue on it, slide it in underneath that one obviously, and just try and get your white topping lining up with that piece there, and likewise there. So let me see if I can do it. This bit you would really need to use Tombow, if you used any kind of tape, whether it's seal or Terran tape, it would be clinging as you were trying to push it in. I think that looks straight. That bit and that bit. So there we go. Would that be noticeable, do you think? I think it would. And the other bit is, of course, I want to do this one. So this was my extra layer. The DSP is 2 7/8 inches by 4 inches. And the basic white is 3 inches by 4 1/8. So it should fit on like that. Now I hope this isn't going to be a mistake. If it is, at least you know not to do this bit. If it works, I'll go back and do one on this card. This is one of those patterns where I'm not quite sure which way to put it up. It doesn't have a right and wrong. Okay, so I'm just trying to line my white there up with the white on that one. And likewise there, and make sure it's straight. Okay, so that looks all right. Let's see. Are you not happy that I'm doing that? How much does that bump up? Oh yeah, that bumps up as well. Never noticed it before. See how that's opening up? I don't know if you can see that or not. See, that does open up as it... that piece of paper that we scored every 1/8 of an inch. So that's okay. I think it's probably because this is too blank. Where's my sentiment? Here it is. Now I'm going to cut this by hand. There is no right or wrong way of doing this at all. If you think it looks good, it looks good. I might come back and do that little bit again. That's a little bit pointy there for my liking. Right, keep going. And the easy thing about this is if you keep moving your paper rather than your scissors, it does seem to give you a much better cut. Now what I'm going to do is I will go back and have a look to see at the bits where I stopped and started again, because that's where you're very likely to get uneven bits. So just go back and cut that one round. Because there's no right or wrong, you're not going to do any harm at all by this. That one looks as if it could be a bit more round. It's a bit pointy as well. That's okay. That looks like I've cut a chunk out. That's all right. The thing is with this, you really cannot afford to be too fussy. I mean, somebody like me could spend hours just going round and round with this, and then decide that I've cut it too short. There we go. There we go. That's why I didn't think it was going to need any backing to it, but I will pop it up on dimensionals. Take my large ones and my small ones. I thought something caught hold of my finger. Let's just put that in a little pointy bit. Okay, one token small one, there we go. Yesterday I was at my computer and I got a notification of a live video, Facebook Live starting, and it was a friend of mine, an American demonstrator, and apparently the previous week, she doesn't normally appear in my feed, but yesterday she did, and she was doing a birthday card to match a gift bag that she'd done the previous week. And I don't know if you've seen it in the catalogue, but there's a large background stamp which makes it look like knitting. Well, she had used that and she made it so that the card has actually got arms that move out. It is so clever. I'll put the link in the box below because it is a beautiful card, and certainly something you may enjoy. So there we go, that's all right, isn't it? That looks good. And what else have I got? I've done everything now. So that's all right, that's okay. In here, I thought, I know he's rather big, but I thought I might put him in there. And this one could be on here, couldn't it? I don't want it on that side. So yeah, let's put it on this side. As you know, I don't use anything that's got dimensionals or height or anything on it inside my cards. I feel that if something's going through the post, it may well get damaged by where whatever is like a gemstone or something, where it'll be pushing against the layer on top. There we go. So that is there. So I don't think it's too bad by having him down here. I'll show you some of the other ones that I've got. I think I had a green one that was sitting down, but it looks like I might have used that. That looks like the only green one. He's definitely too big. I've got Cajun Craze one who's sitting down, and I have crushed curry. In fact, I think I might have the crushed curry one. Yep. Let me just show you what I'm looking at over here. Okay, these are the ones that I've either stamped or that's a stamped one because it's on blank paper. There should be one that I've, oh no, this one I think. Oh yeah, whoops. You see, I made a mistake sometime. But yeah, I think that'll look nice there because he's looking over at these. I'm glad I don't use dimensionals on the side of my cards, otherwise somebody might be able to see what is on the reverse of this. There we go. Do I want it right next door, or do I want him? No, I think I'll have him over here really. I don't want him too far over so that he can be seen when the card is closed. Oh no, that's all right. So would that like one as well? What do you think? Should I put one there as well? It's different from that one. Or do you think it'll look odd having a different colour, tiger or lion, whatever it's meant to be? Have I got that in black? Yeah, but not facing the right way. Oh, I wish I thought, oh, that's black, but he's walking away. Oh well, that's no good then. No, I'm going to leave it as it is. I'm happy with that. And tell me what you think about this. Maybe I should cut that one as well. But then people would try and pull all of it, wouldn't they? The recipient. Anyway, I'm really pleased with this card. Very, very pleased with it. If anything, I'd probably prefer this colour rather than that colour. So, let me know what you think. Which colour is your best? Do you know? And I'm going to put him on there as well before I go. So, while I'm just finishing this bit off, I'd like to say thank you very much for joining me today. I hope you enjoyed today's project and you give it a try. If you have enjoyed it, please give me a thumbs up, and if you'd like to be notified each time I upload a new video, please click on the subscribe button in the bottom right hand corner down there, and then click the bell so that you get the notifications. Oops. There we go. Just make sure it works. Yep, there we go. It's not interfering with anything. In fact, I should be putting it right the way out, shouldn't I? I think that looks really effective. Right, okay, I'm really very pleased. Let's leave that one open. We'll leave that one closed so you can see them both. As I say, thank you for joining me today. In the box below, I'll put all the measurements in inches and in metric. They are designed for A4 cardstock users, but if you are letter size, you can do that little notch there, and then I think the card will fit into one of your envelopes. Let me just double check that. Don't want to get you making this and then find it doesn't fit. I would not be very popular, would I? There we go. That's the American size envelope, and that's the UK size envelope. Alright, so, and it's not too difficult to pull out either. So many thanks for joining me today. Let's leave this one open. As I say, all the measurements will be in the box below, and I'll also put a list of all the ingredients that I've used as well. If you would like to shop with me because you don't have your own Stampin' Up! Demonstrator that you already work with, when you place an order, please remember to use my HOSTESS code for October, and that way when I send you out happy mail, when I send you happy mail at the beginning of November, I'll be able to give you some free product as well. What you've received from me is a handmade thank you card, unused, with an envelope, so you're free to use it, and also a handmade thank you gift as well. So use that and you'll get a free product too. So many thanks for joining me today. I look forward to seeing you next time. In the meantime, please take care, stay safe and happy crafting. Cheerio.